Is it okay for men to be vulnerable around women? I'm talking about crying. I'm talking about emotions. I'm talking about sharing their problems. Is that okay for a man to do with a woman? A woman that he is seeing or dating. Is that okay to you? What do you think? Today, this podcast is called the SOS Podcast, and it's with the gentleman from Fresh and Fit. And they have an opinion on this that they're going to let these two females that you can see on the screen right now know about when it comes to men being vulnerable with women. And I am going to debate their points because I'm on one side of things, kind of on the middle, actually. But there is a debate in this to be had. So let's play the clip.
Are becoming some of them providers for themselves and whatnot. But what I think is important is for women to know when to sit in your masculinity or when to sit in your femininity.
So you're conditionally...
It is.
You're conditional.
What do you mean I'm conditional?
So 1 minute you're masculine, 1 minute you're feminine.
No, we're both. Everybody's both. Everybody's
100%.
both masculine and feminine. You both have the... Everybody has testosterone and estrogen.
Yeah, for
Everybody
sure.
has it. It's in our DNA.
No,
Literally.
I get what you're saying.
So what I'm saying is sometimes when women in the work fields go and present themselves, they sit in their masculinity, and some of them don't know how to come home and sit in that femininity. You know what I mean? Flip the switch.
That's a problem.
We're complex creatures. You're right, and I'm saying for whoever's watching this, like as women who are successful need to learn how to sit in their femininity when need be. But I do think also some men who are masculine do need to learn to sit in their femininity.
And
you
be
don't have to
vulnerable
be
and be
this
empathetic
all the time. Is what I'm trying to say.
No, do not be vulnerable with women.
But you've never been in
You've never been in love.
You want to do the example?
Women are not built to handle masculine problems. Being vulnerable with a woman is some of the worst advice that modern day women give to men, because if I sit there and I cry to you, oh my God, my life is hard, blah, 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 blah. You might sit there and console me for a bit, but deep down you're like, you fucking bitch. And you're going to go and find someone.
That is so not true.
I know.
So you're saying that what he's saying is incorrect?
No,
that a guy
vulnerability
should
shows
cry in front of...
Vulnerability is
Be
so
human.
powerful.
Again, this is a common example of women saying one thing but doing another. They're saying this right now because it's politically correct to say, you can cry to me, you can be vulnerable to me, etc. But deep down, if your man came to you and was crying on your shoulder saying, I don't know what's going on, her
I would be
vagina's
there
gonna...
for him.
Can I finish? Her vagina's gonna dry up. She ain't gonna want to fuck with him anymore. And she's gonna look for a stronger, more capable man, because women are designed to look for security.
Just because they cry once, bro?
Hey man, I can't tell you how many times we've brought girls on the show with their own, they tell us on air, one time my boyfriend cried in front of me and I never looked at him the same. It's like...
I just want to show you an example of the girls that he's talking about, that he's asked, because they claim they've asked thousands of girls, but these are the type of girls that they've asked this question to. This is a clip of them asking the girls that they talk with whether they want a long-term boyfriend or an Instagram account. Here you go.
Instagram.
Okay.
What?
Instagram. Okay.
Instagram.
Okay.
Oh, Judean's getting red pill right now.
Okay. What about you?
Probably Instagram.
Okay. What the fuck?
All right. What about you?
Come on, main character.
I would say long-term boyfriend.
Thank you. Okay, you've done better, bro.
You don't let them pressure you. Well, keep it 1,000. Would it be Instagram or would it be the boyfriend?
Me?
Remember, 50K per year, 5'8".
Long-term boyfriend.
Okay. All right.
Actually, a husband.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, she's doing good. She's doing good.
Stop the cap. All right. What about you, Mr. Troy?
I probably already knew, but Instagram.
Okay.
What the fuck?
And then Novelas. What about you?
I would say Instagram. I haven't.
Oh my gosh. So these are the girls that they're talking about. When they're talking about they have talked to so many girls about this, these are the girls that they're talking about. Girls like this who would rather have Instagram accounts versus long-term love and partnership with a boyfriend. That's who they're talking about. Just to give you a little backstory. Also a little backstory, Myron, who's about to be speaking, and his friend have never been in love. They've never been married, and they have no kids. So got to take that for what it's worth too. Let's get into it.
It's like a glass. If you shatter a glass, right, and it smashes all into pieces and you glue it back together, yeah, maybe it'll work, but when you pour water into it, it's always going to leak.
I get more attracted when guys cry.
Me too.
Anyway,
Like that's like the best sex I ever have when a guy is vulnerable.
Have you done a poll? Let's do a poll. We're gonna. Is it attractive for a man to cry? Are you
It's
saying
not like
that it
all
is?
the time for sure, but when you see your fucking
Not
masculine
every fucking
man,
day. That's
No,
some bitch shit.
But when they're
once in a while,
See, here's the big problem.
Yeah.
Once again, right? You're saying it's okay, right? For you and for you, it might be okay in this moment. However, the next girl might say, you know what? Damn, him even just crying in this moment, I lost interest. So we don't know how far is too far, and that's a problem because you may say it's okay, but she might not say it's okay.
You're right.
And as a guy, why am I gonna make that chance? We're gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna be the rock. I'm gonna be her foundation, and I'm gonna be strong for her. Versus, I'm gonna cry in her face and she might leave.
Yeah, because
What's
you
the point?
don't know how the girl's gonna react because it's a very you have to you have to be in a relationship with a guy, have him cry in front of you, show that inability to provide security, and then how you react, you might not necessarily know how you're gonna react. So what we tell guys is don't be vulnerable with your girl. It's a waste of time. And
This
quite
is so-
frankly,
this
can I
is so
finish? Can I please
dangerous.
finish? So the thing is that women do not handle masculine problems. Men and women live different realities. Women are not equipped to handle masculine problems. You need to go to your guys and tell them you have issues. You want to cry to them. You have problems, you want to talk it out with them, because you cannot show that you're soft or weak in front of your woman. Because even though women say, oh, well, no, I'm capable of being empathetic, I can understand your struggle, blah, blah, blah. They really don't. Because when a man cries in front of a woman, it's going to incite a natural reaction of revulsion, because men that cry and are soft are not attractive, and women are hardwired to look for security. This is why guys that are soft and lose frame, the girl leaves them and goes to another guy that knows what's going on. And it's a very, how do I say this? It's a biological response. You know what I'm saying? Like women are just designed to look for men that are strong. So we tell guys, don't even open up Pandora's box and get sensitive around your girl.
So don't
do
show
it.
emotion ever?
Sorry, is it my turn? Are you done?
Crying and
Amber,
telling her
what's
about
up?
your problems is not a good move to go. Obviously, being a human, right? You got to have some kind of, social calibration here. Being a human is one thing, but to sit there and cry and tell her about your problems, etc., where it's going to affect her mindset as far as like, damn, is this guy the one? Is he the one that's going to be able to provide me security? You don't want to do that. You want to go to your guy first.
Let me ask, brother. Let me ask you.
Sure.
Men are more logical. Women are more emotional. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is anybody disagreeing with that statement?
No.
Okay. Can the logical male be a little emotional? Is that fair?
Well, you just said
Is that fair?
women are not equipped to handle masculine problems, right? That's what you said? Are
Yeah,
men
they're not in a position to help their guy from
are
from masculine
men
struggle.
equipped to handle emotional problems without a woman? Like the reverse. I'm talking about the reverse.
Yeah, because the difference is if you cry on my shoulder, I'm not going to lose attraction for you.
I'm
That's
talking
the
about
difference.
the issues in your life in general. Do you not crave support from a woman to be there for you? Like when a man shows vulnerability, it shows that he trusts me to share in that moment. And that's the kind of father I want to raise my kids. Somebody who's going to be emotional when my kid breaks down or something bad happens, to not just be like, toughen up, kid, but to show empathy, to make good humans. That's why I think your show is a little dangerous.
Now, I don't think their show is dangerous. It's definitely not dangerous. It's all good fun, and I guess some young guys will take it seriously, but I don't think there's a show on YouTube that's not demonetized that's dangerous. They're just guys talking about dating advice. But here's the issue. When you're hearing these two talk to each other, you're hearing one person who's talking about a husband and a life together and children, and you're hearing a gentleman talk who's never been in love, never been truly in a long-term relationship ever, has no kids, and has never made that type of commitment to a woman in his life ever. And I would suspect he's like, by the looks of it, he's like 30 years old, maybe 32. So that in itself says a little bit. But and there is more to this clip, but I just want to say, they're both right. They're both wrong, right? See, what should happen as a man, you should be able to open up to your woman. But I don't think I would open up to a woman who I've been with for a couple weeks or even a couple months, because you're still getting to know each other, maybe even not a year. But if this is your long-term girlfriend, if this is somebody who in your mind you could be with for the rest of your life, you could make the commitment of marriage to, you want to see yourself having kids with this woman, then you have to open up, because you guys have to get to know each other to that extent. You have to get to know her and all her emotions. She has to get to know you and all your emotions. And my message to young men when it comes to this type of thing is, we are equipped with all the same emotions as women, all the same emotions. And it makes no sense why we shouldn't learn how to use those emotions just as well as women know how to use those emotions. Learn how to express those emotions just as well as women know how to express those emotions. Now, should you be crying to your woman every single day? I love my wife. I have a wife. I love her. I love her so much. She's seen me cry. I've seen her cry. Do I cry to her every single day? Do I cry to her every single time I have a little bit of an issue or I feel like a little bit of stress from the situations of life? No. But do I cut myself off completely to that woman who I know would do anything for me and I would do anything for, and we're going to be having kids this year? Would I do? Oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Her mom might be watching. But like, should I cut myself off to that? No. Of course not. And to any young man, it's like, yeah, if you have a girlfriend and it's just like whatever, you guys are just doing your thing, you're not committed, maybe you should have your guy friends, right? And that's also something she's glossing over. He did say turn to your guy friends. So he's not saying become zero emotion. But if you want to have a long-term relationship with a woman, you are going to have to open up to her. She is going to need that from you. It's not even like a thing for you. She's going to need that. She's going to need to see that from you. So she understands that this isn't just this one-sided thing where I can cry to him sometimes and he feels like he can't come to me. Your partner, and I don't even use the term partner, but it is like a partnership in the sense of you need to see those things from each other. She needs to know that you actually can confide in her. You actually do confide in her with your deepest emotions. Because she's going to be having kids for you. She's going to be completely dedicated to you. At least, you find a good woman. I have a good woman. She's going to be dedicated to you. You got to be able to show her some emotion. We've already seen in our lives what a generation of men who don't know how to use their emotions. We've already seen what that does. It's Illuminati. They don't want me to say this. We've already seen what that does. And what it does is, like, if we talk about men who are right now becoming like grandfathers, so they're like 52 to like 66 years old, those guys, they come from a generation where their fathers showed no emotion, right? They stayed stoic. They never showed any type of emotion at all to their kids or their wife or their family, nothing. Those men ended up breeding more men who didn't know how to deal with their emotions. And now I'm at the age, because I'm turning, 37. And I'm at the age where I'm interacting and coaching a lot of guys who have never had to express emotions, who don't truly know how to like open up on a level that they should understand how to do. Because it's not just for you, and it's not just for your wife. It's for your kids. There are going to be things, one day you'll have a son. And your son is going to need to know that he can come to you about things. He's going to need you to be able to access certain emotions, because when you can access them in yourself, you can help him deal with those same emotions because they're going to come. And if you can't help him deal with those emotions, well, then he's fucked. Now he's going to have to learn how to bury those emotions. And like some guys that I'm sure you've even met, we don't just bury them in dirt. We bury them in alcohol. We bury them in drugs. We bury them in sex. We bury them in porn. We bury them in all sorts of terrible things. So you got to know how to deal with your emotions. You got to know how to express your emotions. Now, obviously, you got to have tact. You got to know when and where. But you have to, if you can't do it with your wife, you're not living life properly. You have to be able to do it with your wife. A girl that you're with for 2 weeks, maybe not. But somebody who you want to be your wife, you have to know how to do that. Because you're building a life together. And life comes with a lot of emotions. And it comes with a lot of hardships. And it comes with a lot of tears. It comes with a lot of beauty. A lot of tears too. You got to be able to share that with your wife. And she shares that with you. That's what makes life beautiful. Like really, like if you're a younger guy and you don't have anybody like that, when you do, it's beautiful, man. And you gotta embrace it. You gotta embrace it. When you stay stoic? When she gets hurt. When she gets hurt, or God forbid she has a disease or something, she just got diagnosed, you stay strong for her. You know, she might see a single tear, and even that single tear will show her like, he's staying strong for me, and that means I have to stay strong as well. And then you guys are able to move together as a unit properly, you know, but you stay stoic. And then, like he said, you turn to your guy friends and you cry about it because you say like, I don't know what's going to happen to my wife. I love her. You know, you got to know how to navigate that. It's not just shut it all down. It can't be shut it all down. That's the worst thing you can do as a guy. The worst thing you can do as a person is shut down your emotions. We are we are all emotional creatures, whether you're a guy or a girl. Everybody has emotions. Everybody's feeling them. And I will say also, oh, this video is going long. I'm sorry. But I will say also, what women respect most is a guy who's well-rounded. You know, like if I bring it to an extreme situation like The Rock, like, have you seen The Rock? Right? The Rock is a huge dude. He's a man's man, drinking tequila, you know, action hero. You've seen him get thrown around a ring, fake wrestling, but you know, he still gets thrown around. He's throwing people around. Very able-bodied man, you know, successful businesses, all that stuff. But then also you might see clips of him holding his daughter, giving her a kiss, and she's telling him to do this, sitting down for tea parties. You got to be able to do that part. Then you also see him when his dad died. He's giving a eulogy. He starts crying and his dad's, you got to be able to have that part of yourself. You think his wife saw that and went, oh, I guess I got to go get somebody. I guess I got to go be with John Cena now because my husband's crying. It's not how it works, man. Don't get fooled and think that that's how it works when it comes to this type of thing. When it comes to us showing your emotions. You know, a well-rounded guy is a respected guy. When you know that a guy, like you even see it in your guy friends, when you know a guy knows how to express his emotions, he knows how to get violent when it's necessary, he knows how to get charming when it's necessary, like you respect that guy. If God forbid, Dr. Jordan Peterson had to knock somebody out, you wouldn't be like, oh, what a brute. You'd be like, yo, Dr. Peterson, okay, right? And also when you see him in videos, you can type in emotional Jordan Peterson and you see him crying. You're like, yo, that's great. Like this guy's crying like for a worthwhile thing. He's not crying over nothing. You see Joe Rogan, state champion. You know Joe Rogan knows how to get violent. Kills animals almost yearly. Kills multiple animals. Always hunting. Mental toughness. All that stuff. But then also he talks with David Goggins. And they talk about what David Goggins, his mom's been through. And they start to cry together. They get teared up together. It's fine. You got to be able to do both. Well-rounded. I can even bring it to a different type of analogy of that whole thing. Think about this. Like I know my wife, I dress like I'm working out all the time. I dress like this so if I have to chase somebody down, I can. If I have to kick somebody, get violent, throw somebody around, I am always dressed like I'm about to work out. Always. That's just how I dress. You know? My beards gets a little scraggly. I smell like cigars all the time. Not all the time, but you know, more often, like pretty often, you know. But and my wife likes it. But at the same time, sometimes she'll walk into the house and I'll be going somewhere and I'm wearing a suit. I got my shirt tucked in, it's clean, nice. She just ironed it. I have my suit on, you know, vest, tie, shaven, nice. And she goes, oh, wow, look at you. And she loves it, you know? And I'm talking about it in terms of clothing, but it's like I'm showing her I can switch it up. And then also I can put on a flannel and, you know, just lay around the house like that. And she loves that too. Women like a man who's well-rounded. You want to see a guy who's able to switch it up. Even us as guys like a guy who can switch it up. Because when we need our boys to be empathetic to us, sympathetic to us, we like when we have that. Not everybody likes the friend who's always just like, oh man, who cares, man? You got to be able to switch it up. You got to be able to show emotions. And with your woman, so important. So important. So you can take the opinion of a guy who's never been in love and never made a true commitment to a woman ever in his life. Or you can take the opinion of someone who's been married, who has a very loving, strong marriage with my wife. We're very conservative in our values. It's not like we don't walk around calling each other partners. That's my wife. I'm her husband. She makes the coffee. She makes the breakfast. She comes home and makes sure that my dinner's made when I come home. We're conservative in our values. But at the same time, we can cry. I can cry with her. Stoicism has its place. You know? But it can't be all the time. Because a lot of the times, guys have stoicism confused with just pushing your emotions down. And that's not what stoicism is. It's being able to feel your emotions out, understand why you're feeling them and when, and being able to think past your emotions. That's what stoicism is. Quick example of that before I go. I'm in a restaurant with my wife. We're having a good time. My sister calls. She leaves a message. My sister never calls. She never leaves a message. So I knew my dad died. I knew it. I go to the washroom. I listen to the message. I'm right. My dad's died. Now I get real emotional. But then I think to myself, if I break down crying right now, I won't be able to drive us home safely. And I don't want to be the kind of guy that has to have my wife or my girlfriend at the time drive me home while I'm crying in the passenger seat. So I thought past my emotions. I went back to the table. I sat down. I said, let's pay. Let's get out of here. I drove her home. We stopped. And then I said, listen, my dad died. She said, she consoled me. I didn't really cry. I didn't really, express all that emotion. But then later on, I did cry. I stayed stoic for the time being. Being stoic is not a constant. Don't constantly be that way. You have to let things out eventually. You have to. All right, I'm out.